back in the freaking... Holy crap. This freaking... this tundra almost got himself T-boned by a semi. Oh, that's way too bright. That would have been a crazy opener to this 7 days out from the Arnold Amateur back day. But luckily enough, everyone has remained uncrashed. Let's keep that going. So a bit of an early lift, 11:21. Usually I'm the type to say cardio first, lift later. But right now, with the whole deficit and everything else, sometimes I like an early lift first and then a solo cardio session later. Because either way, I'm doing cardio twice a day. Cardio in the morning or cardio after the lift in the evening. So I actually, frankly, half the motivation of doing an earlier back day today is these gyms have been freaking packed. Like a lot of my local gyms, I don't even know what is going on. Maybe more people are moving into my city or whatever. But it's like, shit, man. A lot of people in there, you know. And usually I'm the one to say, don't let that mess with you. But, I mean, if there's only so many pieces of equipment to go around. So that's where some of the 5:30 a.m. grinders might be a little more spoiled because nobody's coming to the gym that early, at least not in droves. But playing for this lift, I've already had a good chunk of a breakfast of some egg whites, some rice cakes, a little bit of sugar-free jelly on those, with some sugar-free barbecue sauce on the eggs. So I'm feeling reasonably well fed and energized. So back first, combination of pull downs, rows, and pullovers. Not necessarily in that order, and really I just kind of have to wait until I get in there to see what's going to feel good. You know, because what happens if I grab the cable and start warming up and I think, oh, my lat feels a little tighter than normal, or like my, you know, some kind of tendon or something in my armpit is like a little extra tender. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't try to do full stack pull downs. Maybe I should go a little easier, or maybe just start with a lighter squeezing movement. Use that as not only a working set, but also as a warm-up set, and then move on to something heavier once I've already got sort of my blood flowing, expose myself to some tension and everything else. Like I think you're walking into the gym with a closed mind if you have a specific workout completely planned to a T, and you're unable to, you know, duck and weave or juke around any potential unforeseen circumstances which you didn't plan for in that workout, you know? So it's like you never know who's going to be on what, or if something's going to be broken, or maybe the leg extension's shin pad is completely off because somebody busted it trying to like double leg stack it or anything else. I mean, a lot of unfreaking, you know, foreseeable events, right? You never know. So all that's to say is I like the approach of being a little more open, right? Letting the gym almost speak to you once you walk in. Now, of course, this is after having built up, you know, years of gym experience, and so I've got a little bit of a better read of the land, if you get what I'm saying there, right? But I know, okay, I mean, how many back days have I done at this point? Let's on average, probably about 2 a week. I've been doing 2 every 8 days, but there was a while. There was a while when I was doing a, not upper lower, but I was doing limb day and torso day. So I do legs in the morning, arms at night, chest in the morning, back in the morning, chest at night, and then just repeat the process. I was doing that for a few months back when I was in school. In my mind, I thought I was, I'd stimulate muscle growth for 48 hours, and then I'd stimulate it again 48 hours later, right? So kind of whatever. But yeah, let's say I've done back twice a week for the last, we're a little more than 6 years, but let's just say 6 years for argument's sake. So 6 years, 52 weeks, 300 weeks. Yeah, I've done probably 500-600 back days over the course of time of, having done that many. I've got a pretty good idea of what it takes for me specifically to have a good lift. And by trying new shit, even though on the day it might seem a little silly, like I used to be a real hater on starting a chest day with flies, because in my mind I'm like, dude, why would you start with flies? Start with heavy pressing. And I still do lean towards heavy pressing first, but what's the problem? Pre-exhaust with some flies. Now your chest is already warm, it's got some blood in it, and then moving on to different pressing later, the pressing actually feels extra good, because now instead of just moving weight around, like you're really feeling your chest. So what I'm getting at is, by trying new stuff and changing your workouts, and let's say you always do pull downs and then rows, start with rows and then do your pull downs today, right? By changing it up, you should eventually get a good read of, okay, this is what a good back day usually looks like for me. And then, man, you can freaking plop yourself into any situation like MacGyver, and you can say, okay, there's a pull-up bar, there's a desk, I can probably lay underneath of that and do like some body weight rows. There's you can get a freaking back pump no matter where the hell you are, right? Now that might be taking it a little bit too far, but that's kind of the sentiment I'm getting at, right? Don't limit yourself in terms of how your workout is going to look, because sometimes you just never know until you get there. I mean, what if I walk into the gym today and for whatever reason, like maybe when I was slinging my luggage around from the airport or something else, what if I like pulled a part of my back that I didn't really like, that I can't feel right now, but once I actually go start moving some weight around, I'm like, oh shit, dude, my left lat needs some rest. Crap. Right? What am I supposed to do? Still do a back day like a total fool? Nah, man. Pivot. And then I would probably say some shit like, all right, time for shoulders, and then do that instead. But now I'm just saying the same shit on repeat. I can guarantee that within an hour, I'm going to have a reasonably inflated set of lats, traps, and everything else in between. And then I can pop a squat on the cardio bike and subsequently add some extra time on the treadmill, which, frankly, I mean, if you're dogging on the cardio or you're not really interested in actually, starting to clock any hours, look, if you're not a huge Stairmaster fan, I understand, right? The Stairmaster seems like freaking torture. Personally, I've never done it. At least not for any, I don't think I've ever tried doing the Stairmaster as my actual cardio. The seated bike ends up being perfect. But even the seated bike, it's kind of tricky. But the treadmill? I mean, dude, 3 miles an hour at like a 3% incline? The only challenge is just plopping yourself down on it and then turning the thing on. Because actually walking like that, I mean, it's really nothing, So I'll do my 30 on the seated bike first, and then an extra 30 on the treadmill, just to get a couple of extra calories freaking burned and get just that 0.05% leaner. But I think nothing else to discuss, so let's just go get this back day started. Alright, let's start with some reasonably wide grip machine pull downs. A little funkier than a regular one. It's got the attachments over here on both sides, but still works out well. And this is a very light stack. Like, honestly, this feels just like doing a pull down on the regular push down stack. But it's enough weight for me right now. So let's start with a nasty squeezing one. See. 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 Go. No. See. Oh my god, okay. Holy crap. Whew. Let's do 2 more of those. That's really funky because this is like hitting me in my real deep lats, like kind of right where they tie into my Christmas tree. I'm not feeling so much right out here under my armpit, but perfect start. Yeah. Oh. Oh. One more. Holy crap. Oh. Okay. Oh my god. Oh. Let's do some rows. Holy crap. Here's another one of my staple light squeezing rows. Setup being bench as such. Cables, what is that, 4 feet wide, kind of where my feet are. So the primary difference between this and like, you know, a straight bar row or a V-bar row is my hands are converging, right? So just like with a cable press or with a machine press or something, where you press in and get a good like extra squeeze, because even once you hit the top, you're still forcing your hands inward, keeping tension in your chest. I think you can apply the same logic with rows by having the cables individually loaded, wide. So now instead of just pulling here, I'm kind of pulling in at the same time. So it's not like it's going to make an insane difference, but it does feel pretty good. So let's make this shit happen here. So these are going to be light, or not light, but squeezing controlled reps until I can't really hold it. And then I'll burn out with some, you know, slightly nastier ones. But squeezing reps first. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. I think let's do one set of pullovers, and then it's just about time for a superset finisher of a pull down / row combo. All right, so this is very much so a pump focused set. So alternating right side, left side, right side, left side of some good, hard, solid squeezing single arm pullovers, which personally I like a bit more than like a double arm with a rope or a bar. I just feel like I can squeeze my lat harder this way. But back and forth maybe 3-4 times or so. Go set up a little long D handle sort of situation over there, and we're just about done. Yeah. 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 Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. I tell you something, my muscular endurance is at an all-time freaking low. But freak factor of the pump, those numbers are skyrocketing. So let's go grab some shit. We're almost done. This will be perfect. All right. Yeah. See. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's go post out. All right. The cool lighting is taken up by a freaking, well, a bunch of tiny little lunch tables, because I guess they've got to use that as the new child watch room. But let's see how we're looking back-wise. And this isn't exactly an awesome indication of, what next week's sort of stage look is going to look like, because I am still kind of rebounding back to, kind of a normal state of being. But let's run through a couple here. Oh yeah. Well, looks like we've still got some freaking width, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely back to feeling the calorie deficit now. But yeah, not so much to complain about when you actually get to see the lean pump that results from it. So no point lollygagging around, because for you, we get to just jump straight into some more yappage in the car. But for me, not so instant. So I gotta go back upstairs, get some cardio going. Oh, all right. So seated bike was really clicking for me today. So by the time I hit the 30-minute mark, shit, man, make hay while the sun is shining. Run that thing up to 60. So I have now relaxed in the car for a little bit. There really is something to lift cardio and then sitting in a warm car in the freaking chilliness of February in the Northeast and just scrolling mindlessly. Which, look, I'm gonna get it out of my system now and try not to talk about it for the rest of the drive home. But be honest with me, man. And don't be honest with me, be honest with you. Right? Your screen time has hours upon hours of just random whatever. You know, we've got the most technologically addictive, interesting, and I mean, not even looking at it as a bad thing, fucking cool devices in your pocket at all time. You can look at so much crazy shit. I mean, it's nuts. Like, think about that in context with, you know, even just a few hundred years ago, right? Shit is nuts, for real. But how many hours have you spent on it? And how many hours have you spent on it doing nothing else, right? Where you're just sitting around chilling. Shit, man, that hour of cardio passed by like nothing. And I'm not doing sprints. I mean, I'm just doing low intensity, steady state. I think I get my heart rate up to like the 130 mark-ish, maybe 135 or so. Like I was sweating at the end of it, of course, but pretty mindless. Like I don't have to sit there and think to myself, okay, come on, keep pedaling, come on. Nah, man, you're just kind of sitting there doing it. So rolling around, scrolling, watching whatever. I've watched so many hours of Financial Audit. It's not even funny. I'm probably one of Caleb Hammer's top viewers over the last couple of weeks for sure. But what was I going to say? But yeah, so it really does pass reasonably quick. So that's where all I can say is shit, man. Pop a squat. Set the difficulty to something which you can do reasonably. My sweet spot has always been around 80, 90 RPM, and then the difficulty such that it says about, oh goodness, that I burn about 10 calories per minute. And sometimes it varies, and I can tell some machines are a little easier than others, where like one machine might say, oh, you know, level 10, you're burning 10 calories a minute. But like I know I'm not really pedaling as hard as I'm going for. So the numbers are a good starting point. But once you get yourself up to it, you really reach a point where you just know how hard it should feel. Because it should feel kind of hard, but it should be very manageable for those 30 minutes, or if you're feeling extra crazy, that full hour. Right, but getting that threshold, honestly, having the heart rate tracker is probably your best bet in terms of consistency, like making sure you keep it at like a 130. But I think I end up gauging it just off of like just kind of how hard it feels pedaling. So if I'm feeling extra energized, or maybe if I had some extra food prior, maybe I might up the intensity level. Or if maybe I'm feeling a little bit more tired, kind of fatigued, I might lower it and, balance it out there, make the cardio session just, a few percentages easier. But I know you're sitting around scrolling anyway. If you can multitask it, then that scrolling is no longer time wasted. That's just, you chilling, trying to pass the time, sitting on the bike. But no more of that. That was a good back pump. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. I'm freaking tired. I'm freaking tired. But yeah, that was a pretty good back pump. And my rest periods have begun to increase just because I was freaking tired. Between sets of those pull downs and those rows and stuff, I mean, I'm just sitting there for a couple of minutes. Not like huffing and puffing. Like it's nothing like hard squats in a bulking context where, oh my God. But yeah, I am definitely feeling the fatigue of the lack of fuel. So that's where my workouts are, or that's where the difficulty from these workouts are really coming from. Just the fact that I'm kind of really running on my own fumes here, right? But more than enough energy to get a solid pump, feeling extra wide, Morning weight has been about in the 230s or so, which is about right. And I'm still getting back to regular kind of amount of water retention. So things are looking good. So more of the same. More of the freaking same. Calorie deficit, cardio, not going bananas. I mean, there's just no room for any drive-through food right now, which is all right by me. Only a couple more days, and then we can get back to regular mass accrual, which don't even get me started. We can talk about bulking when it's time to bulk, and I am gonna have some freaking words, because it's been like damn near 5 months since I've started this dieting phase. And of course, whatever phase of lifting I'm in is going to be the one I'm, the most fixating, kind of talking about tips about. All I've been getting into is all the like little rice cakes and low sugar barbecue sauce and egg whites and ground turkey 99% lean and everything else, because that's kind of what I've been freaking living. But yeah, I guess I've given you guys a bit of a break. Any of the hard gainers, or as I like to say, the hard eaters, where it's, man, how can I gain weight? How can I gain weight, man? I'm stuck at 180. I'm stuck at 160. I'm stuck at one whatever. How do I break past it? Yeah, I'm gonna have some words for you come next week. But until then, anybody who's in their deficit, in their fat loss journey, really trying to trim down, get the scale to go down. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I am in the same boat as you. So even though it doesn't feel very flashy, and frankly, it's definitely not the most fun state of being on its own, having to watch what you eat, make sure you're not eating too much, and actually track everything, and make sure you're actually in your deficit and losing fat on a consistent basis. It's worth it. It is worth it, because then you get to look back and say, holy crap, down 15 pounds over the last 4 months. Holy shit, right? And then for anybody who's getting seriously serious about it, into the 50-pound loss range, or even the 100 or 150-pound loss range, yeah, that is nuts. And frankly, I almost think that takes more willpower than the bulking up, because at least from my perspective, the bulking up is way more fun. So don't lose hope. Don't lose any, maybe not hope's the right word, but keep that energy up. Every pound down, that is some badass freaking progress to be proud of. So for me, I'm going to go home, have some egg whites, have probably a couple of rice cakes as well, and really just chill. Really just freaking chill until I do some extra cardio later tonight. Only 30 minutes though. Honestly, I only did that hour during this session because I felt extra good on that seated bike. But I don't think I need to exceed an hour and a half of cardio per day, because then I'm going to be reaching into a point of potentially overdoing it, because I want to ride the sweet spot of activity level with limited calories. Right, so this will be my last analogy before we can get out of here and go about our business. But when it comes to losing body fat and getting leaner, you want to separate these two states of being, or these two numbers, right? The amount of energy that you burn every day, that's a combination of just breathing, pumping your blood, staying alive, and your workouts and your cardio, with the amount of calories and fuel that you're giving yourself to run off of. Because every little calorie and every I guess calorie is the word, of energy that you've got at the end of the day left over, your body has to make up for it, and that's when it's going to start burning its own fat stores. Your one of your more readily available storage of energy that you got all over your freaking build to run and just keep yourself moving, right? That's the basic process of getting leaner. So if you want to increase that gap, you can do more cardio and you can eat less food. But if you overdo it on either one of those cases, you might start to run into problems, right? if I were to try to do 3 hours of cardio per day right now, or if I was trying to do 3 hours per cardio a day these last 4-8 weeks or whatever that I've been dieting, probably going to be overdoing it, stressing out my system. I was even feeling that at the 2-hour cardio mark. I think 2 was actually, I was making solid progress for the time, but I was starting to overdo it in terms of fatiguing my system. So I think that hour, maybe hour and a half, if I'm feeling a little extra energized on a day-by-day basis, combined with the workout itself, that's my limit for energy expenditure. And then making sure I'm at just a reasonable deficit underneath that keeps me about right. So for some, I guess if cardio just isn't in the cards for you, you can only do your 30 minutes a day. That could just be a scheduling thing too. But, who knows? For whatever reason, 30 minutes is like your upper limit. I couldn't really imagine why somebody couldn't do more than that, but, everything's on a spectrum when it comes to the working out, so let's just be hypothetical here. Then that guy might have to be a bit more strict with his calories because his energy levels are a little bit lower, so he's going to have to eat a bit less food to maintain that gap, right? But, we all know this. The more you move around, the better you're going to be at utilizing energy, because that's what your body is going to be doing. So if you've got a dog who's a little younger, maybe a little more spry, he runs around, you play with him, that dog's going to be in shape. And then you got your other older dog, maybe he doesn't get around as much. Shit, man. You might not want to be giving him too many scraps off the dinner table, because if his energy levels are a bit lower, then his energy consumption is going to have to stay lower to maintain that same sort of balance or whatever. But that's all I got to say there. So, plan for tomorrow, lift-wise, is, well, it's not back. It's not, is it arms? Might do for an arm day. I don't know, it seems a little too soon for arms. I feel like I just did it. I think tomorrow might be a shoulder day. Yeah, shit, man. I think we got some shoulders tomorrow. Nice. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I can definitely play it by ear right now because, that's sort of the nature of this peak week and everything else. But last week, 7 days out, let's get freaking excited. So I will see you for whatever that lift ends up being tomorrow, but I know I'm going to be pumped at the end of it. And I think we all know that. That's kind of a given at this point. The sun's going to rise. What's another? Well, you get what I'm getting at. I'm going to go home, eat, take a nap, and then I will see you tomorrow.